It is that time again when I look at the Infinity Gauntlet, and not just because I'm gonna have to return it to my school's library soon. So, where we last left Thanos, he was being pretty vain about his powers, and when we return, there's a huge change in pace. He's in here saying, I am incapable of error. Any result that displeases me, I can simply reverse. And Thanos is supreme. Then he just grabs Mephisto by the front of his cape or whatever, and Mephisto's just like, yeah, definitely, most definitely, in exactly that tone of voice. And then Thanos, chest pounds his gauntlet because he has the gauntlet, and I would chest pound that a million times a day if I had the gauntlet. Then the Surfer continues with his story that he was telling to Doctor Strange, if you recall from last video. He's telling Doctor Strange how Lady Death, or Mistress Death, let Thanos survive, and now he continues, but Thanos was too arrogant to be anyone's thrall. His sinister scheme was conceived while gazing into the depths of Death's infinity well. That Death has an infinity well. Facts from Silver Surfer. There he learnt of the soul or infinity gem's true power, and convinced his dark mistress that the task assigned him could not be carried to fruition without them. So, we see Thanos, chilling with Lady Death, and he says, hey, those stones that give one infinite power? I might need those for the plan. Definitely, seems legit. And Mistress Death just goes, yeah, okay, let's get those. Let's get them into the mix. Nothing can go wrong with this. Because Death is smart. Not even Death realized what limitless might the Mad Titan was striving for. She didn't? Let's talk. The Infinity Gems. He was looking for those, and Death said, no, he's looking for one of those. He's looking for mediocre power. He's not looking for infinite power. I mean, what in the name would imply that? Through cunning, sheer strength, and murder, Thanos wrested the Infinity Gems from those that possessed them, and with each acquisition, he gained mastery over the soul, the mind, time, reality, space, power. So, I'm gonna just point out a word that was used here, wrested, and tell me that Vision is going to survive Infinity War. He's just got the thing in his head, and it's getting yanked out. The thing's getting yanked out is what I'm saying. He has the Mind Stone in his head, and it's getting yanked out in Infinity War. We know this. And if he survives, I'm gonna be happy. And so will Wanda, and I usually don't like it when she's happy, but my feud with Wanda can wait. In other words, Thanos now has the unbridled power of a god. Yeah, the stones pretty much cover all the things, so yeah. I can't think of another category of thing that, reality pretty much covers all the stuff that space, power, soul, mind, and time don't. No longer do the laws of nature bind him. His will can bend the very fabric of reality. That was redundant. Moving on. Well, now we have Doctor Strange talking, and he says, such a force in the hands of a madman. A nihilist. Nihilism's a real, set of people. You don't have to, just throw sudden shade at nihilism. Although, I'm not a nihilist, but it's such force in the hands of a nihilist. It could mean the end of all that is. I suppose it could, yes. In the hands of anyone, it could mean that, but whatever. And then it cuts to a different group of people talking about something different. Jake Miller, Ralph Bunker, and Bambi Long. And they drive off a cliff. And literally, they drive off a cliff. And if they become relevant later, I'm sorry, but I'm skipping them because I don't care about this part of the story. Moving back to the room where Doctor Strange and the Silver Surfer are chilling. Not realizing the extent of Thanos' new might, a being called the Destroyer and I foolishly confronted the Titan. It almost proved to be a fatal miscalculation on our part. The almost, I assume, is solely for the purpose of there needing to be a plot, because Dr. Strange has to find out somehow, so we have to have the Silver Surfer coming back. But with Thanos having the Infinity Gauntlet, there shouldn't even be a fight. Well, that's kind of the premise. That's the premise we have, is that the fight shouldn't be a fair one. We were but helpless puppets within his grasp. He toyed with us, laughing all the time. My much-lauded cosmic might was nothing compared to... So Surfer is very humble as well, we can tell. My much-lauded cosmic might was nothing compared to the power Thanos brandished. We know, though, Surfer, we know that, because you told us he has the gauntlet that gives him all the power. We weren't thinking you were going to be a match for him. But thank you for telling us about your much-lauded cosmic might. Then, when he finally tired of us, the Mad Titan used the power of the Soul Gem. Is what happened. To steal our spiritual essence. If that has any side effects, let me know. If not, that didn't need to be stated. When we awoke from the ordeal, the Destroyer and I found ourselves within the metaphysical world of the Soul Gem. You could say that it was the side effect, but in a few seconds you'll find out why it doesn't matter. It was the most bizarre place I have ever encountered. It was there that I met a strange and enigmatic man called Adam Warlock, apparently the spiritual leader of the Soul World, with no pupils. That's how you know he's spiritual, I guess. Encountering him was an experience I'll long remember. And, Adam Warlock, remember that name. He's going to be important later. And, he helps him escape the Soul World. So, that had a point. And now he's here. Basically, now he's here. He got soul captured by Thanos, and then now he's not there anymore. He's with Doctor Strange, telling the story. Back to the present. Back to Mephisto and Thanos and my hood falling off. I stand in awe of Thanos' might and his ability to wield it, as if it has always been a part of him, says Mephisto. In the twinkling of an eye, the Titan whisks us off to the Hall of Death, a realm even I have never dared trespass in. Even you, Mephisto. And in a blinding flash of epiphany, I realize a most disturbing truth. Even ultimate power does not make you the master of all you survey. He has the Mind Stone, yes? It kind of does, yes? Yes? Am I wrong? He could use that if he chose to, but he's just not doing that. But anyway. Mistress Death, says Thanos. Mistress Death, my love, I have returned. It is my most sincere hope that you have at last forgiven me my duplicity in gaining the Infinity Gems. So here's something of a reveal. Thanos is kind of in love with Death, and Death is mad because he ruined her plan, which she helped him to do, but whatevs. It would appear she hasn't forgiven you, says Mephisto. My lord, my sympathies, you are not deserving of such brisk treatment. No, I am not. So much power in the possession of one who has barely reached the status of a godling. The very thought boggles the mind. Thanos could destroy even me with but a thought, says Mephisto. Yet his basic soul remains on the edge of mortality. Is he capable of managing the forces now under his command? Or will his fragile heart be his undoing? I should note that Mephisto says all of this while holding a skull, because symbolism. And Hamlet also, alas, poor Thanos. It was never my intention to wrong you, nor do I believe I have. Darling mistress, your scorn wounds me deeply. Just a quick, pedantic correction of your grammar there, Thanos. It was never my intention to wrong you, nor do I believe have I, is what you meant to say. Not I have I would have been correct. Just, tweakity-tweak there. You don't have the grammar stone, so I can do that. Grammar Stone. No, reality still takes that. Anyway. True, I did use the powers you granted me to seek out the Infinity Gems to become the supreme being that now stands before you. But I only sought such glory in order to become worthy of your love. Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that one. Am I right, ladies? Your heart deserves better than the thrall I was. I had no other choice than to become your equal. And then Death's servant, who is really pale and has very little hair, says, Not equal, superior. Now Mistress Death is nothing more than your love slave. That was a position you chafed in. How can she find such status any less stifling? Throwing out the truths there. Guy with no hair. But she is the keeper of my heart. Your love is bondage. My love is worship. This is getting steadily creepier, and I like it. The mistress of the Hall of Death has no need for sycophants. No, you are wrong. Death should be revered. Shrines should be built to her. Then his eyes start getting all bright. Yes, shrines, is how he said that. And he builds a giant shrine. It's huge, and it's a monument bigger than the Lincoln Memorial, and I want one. It shows her, face in two different ways there, like the skull face and the lady face. I mean, he made golden thrones, or they look like they're gold. Maybe they're a even better space metal. I don't know, but he makes it, and screw it. My hair's coming out of the braids, and from these thrones we shall decide the fate of millions solar systems and all that inhabit them. Thanos, eat a Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. But Death is not having that. She looks at him, and she turns away with her hood throwing a shadow across her face because she's hardcore. Still she spurns me. Perhaps that was not the voice. Perhaps it is because she does not yet realize the true stagnant depths your black soul is capable of achieving. I'm sure that's what it is, Mephisto. Thank you for your contribution to our conversation. What do you mean? Mistress Death is a dark spirit, ebon in her ways. Her mate must be of a like bent. Are you up to such a challenge? Oh, Mephisto, stop talking. Am I not Thanos? Did I not butcher the woman who gave me birth, who force-fed me into this H-word called life? Is not the wake of my passing crimson with the blood of my enemies and allies alike? So at the point when you said allies, I'm sure Mephisto just went, oh, I am screwed. Death is with me every second of the day. My every moment is spent in either dealing out death or worshipping it. So tell me, who under the stars is better suited than I to be Death's consort? No one. But it is not I you need to prove this to. Yes, that is what must be done. If proof of my depravity is what is needed, so be it. I shouldn't be smiling this much. Okay, so the next thing we see is Nebula, who is not looking like Karen Gillan at all. Behold, Mistress Death, Thanos' greatest creation. Allow me to introduce to you, Nebula, my granddaughter. At least that's what she claims to be. Thanos, are you a deadbeat? Come on. So I took her at her word and made her my own. From a vigorous and healthy young thing, I created that which now stands before you. And for context, that is what now stands before her. So basically a zombie. Yeah, zombie. We're gonna go with zombie. My power and spirit sculpted Nebula into walking death. Which is rude. That's really rude, you know? I mean, again, Karen Gillan doesn't deserve this. And obviously, you know, Death still isn't impressed because we wouldn't have a story if she was just like, cool, babe, let's chill on our thrones. So, she turns away again. Do not turn your back to me, woman! Titan, Mistress Death finds your boasts empty and your bravado distasteful. I find it distasteful too, servant guy. I'm with you. I'm right there with you. But you're probably going to be murdered. Yeah, Thanos looks at him and explodes him. He's been explodified. Kaboom. Kaboom. And yeah, he's explodified, and I'm gonna stop here. But I'm sure Death will love that.